It's just harder to do it than it was 30 years ago, and even in it was harder 30 years ago than it was 50 years
50
ago.
years ago, yeah.
You go to post-World War II, if you're a fucking human man who's not retarded and can swing a hammer, well, shit, your family can have a Chevrolet and a 3-bedroom house, right? Like,
yeah,
because the rest of the world was rebuilding, so we had a gigantic benefit.
We should have kept blowing shit up. We'd still be there.
We did.
Yeah,
South America is
going
pretty
now.
untarnished, if you ask me. I feel like we should have done what they did in CSA. We should have, after we won and beat the Japanese, just continue on and take all of South America and make that ours. Confederate States of America. What would have happened if the South would have won? It's a mockumentary. It's fucking hilarious. It's even got mockumentary commercials built in.
If the South would have won, they wouldn't have conquered the North. They just would have been their own country.
Yeah, that's what happens. Well, in the movie, what happens is, okay, so what actually happened in real life is there was this Jewish fellow who was part of the Southern political scene, and he was sent overseas to bargain with the French to enlist their help for the Confederacy. He failed at this because of anti-Semitism in France. Now, that is the part in history where things change and we divert. Instead, the French joined with the South, and at some historical battle that actually happened, they're like, and when the North saw those French colors come alongside the rebel flag, they tucked their tails and ran as the cowards they were. And then they chase Harriet Tubman has to help Lincoln escape to Canada. And she's making him paint his face black and like going blackface. And he's like, no, I don't want to do that. And she says, Mr. President, we both now. And so there's this whole part where like they capture Lincoln and he ends up being banished to Canada. It's a really good.
Does Lincoln attempt to tell a very long story as they're capturing him?
We'll see. You have to watch it to get it. But the part where they depict the capture of Lincoln is depicted through like a 1910 black and white movie, because this is a mockumentary. They're telling you the history of all of this from like now. They're like, it's like you're watching the History Channel. They're talking about the real Civil
so they
War,
were like old dramatizations.
Yeah. There's dramatizations mixed in. There's also false commercials that are based on actual very racist products mixed in, like motor oil. Instead of cops, they have slave catchers where it's just like, huh, bad boys, and it's just cops chasing black slaves down and recapturing them. It's a ridiculous documentary. It's definitely worth watching. It's CSA.
I feel like the Confederates, the South gets way too much of a pass for what they did there, right? The federal government had more power than the states. That was settled in 1789. The states didn't like that. They wanted to keep their slaves. They wanted to trade in ways that weren't. They were traitors. And then they went to war with the North and tried to kill other Americans. And when I see that Confederate flag, it is a traitor's flag, right? And
it was just as much a failed revolution as a civil war when you think about it. You know?
Yeah. I agree with that too. But I feel like the South, it's the War of Northern Aggression. Bullshit. You guys absolutely started that war. And do we know
I have no idea who fired first.
Yeah.
It happened at that fort, right? I feel like they were like northern ships firing at a southern fort that's like on the water, on the ocean, maybe.
I remember.
But it's just like fucking like 10th grade history coming back to me.
Yeah,
sure. They were
just as
but what they didn't do. I think there's a difference between them trying to overthrow and like, no, all of America is under our thing now. Like that there's a difference between that and what they did, which is like, nah, we won't do what you say anymore.
That's a failed revolution though, right? It's the opposite of like patriotism. That's people trying to get out of the
American Revolution was the exact same thing, right? We threw that T in there because we didn't like the tax on the T.
Sure, we were very much like rebelling against the British, but this is America, right? You rebelled against America. That's how
America isn't always built into the Constitution for overthrowing our current government if it ever gets out of hand. And I'm not defending the Civil War or anything or like what was in their minds as they did it. It's definitely we're just getting down to like the definition of words. It's silly.
I'm just trying to propose a viewpoint that I feel like isn't often proposed. I feel like you often hear, oh, these were brave men. Yeah, sure, I guess they were brave, but they were treasonous people trying to get out of America.
Yeah, but most, like, the
They
average
fought
soldier wasn't a treasonous person, I wouldn't think. Like, the average, Confederate soldier, like, most of them were fighting for the people next to them and for their families, or at least they thought. Like, it's definitely, just like with every war, a difference between the people in that upper echelon of control and kind of the boots on the ground.
Yeah, nobody
folks.
fighing had slaves. Those guys with rifles
Yeah,
out.
those guys didn't have any kind of benefit whatsoever. Those were just, fucking
In
poor
the
people who
movies
got
they did.
massacred. In the movies they did, but in real
the
life,
movies
like
they absolutely did,
8% of people, or like 6%. It was like, but Kyle's correct. Most people who were fighting in those trenches, like, they were poor. They probably didn't even own land. Like, they were probably, had pretty shitty life. Even the best life in like 1840 had to kind of suck. Like, I know it was like the 60s, but I'm just,
the fact that the people who carried the guns were poor doesn't change what the Confederate flag represents, which was an attempt to get out, attempt to overthrow the government, and an attempt to fight against America.
I totally get that.
Leave
I've
America,
heard the argument
right?
as well.
That's what it was.
That people,
they just want to leave.
I've heard the argument as well that tanks from Alabama or Georgia or Texas or wherever in World War II, as they were freeing concentration camps and such, they had the Confederate flag flying above their tank, because in their heads it was like this is a Southern pride thing. Like, we're from the South and we're over here doing our business. And so it's like, I don't know. When I heard that, it was kind of like, oh, I'd never really considered that part of it. Because when you see Confederate flag, you only think about slavery and way back then. You don't think about people using it in like the World War I or World War II to show like, yeah, this is where we're from in the U.S. Like, just how that guy's flying the Ohio flag above his tank or whatever, we're flying the stars and bars.
But do you really buy that, though?
See what you're saying.
Like, if you see a Confederate flag on the back of someone's truck, what?
Well, see, that's what I'm saying.
Now it's on a truck.
That's what I think. Yeah, if it's on a truck, it's different, because it's like I see that now in modern day as like, yeah, it's kind of skeevy. Like, we all kind of know.
A statement if he's got it on his truck.
You all know what that really means,
Yeah, he's making a statement. Like, I don't even really know what the statement.
Not everyone is making a statement.
South will rise again. I don't know.
It's a big mixture of things. It doesn't mean one thing at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, some people, it means the South will rise again. We're coming back. You won't fuck with us no more. To some people, it's a heritage thing. It has nothing to do with black people. To some people, it's a symbol of them that they are better than black people, I'm sure. But I just feel like you're just not you. But I feel like what's done is like you always take the lowest common denominator with that thing. You're like, it means enslaving black people. That's what it's for. But it was the Georgia state flag until like 15 years ago. Like, it was a lot of the state flags down here. It was incorporated into them in one way or another until 15 years ago. So anybody who fought in the Georgia National Guard, they fought for that flag. And anybody who, protected the state house, they were standing under that flag, protecting the state house. It means a lot of things to a lot of people. Unfortunately, what it always boils down to for some reason is the most offensive thing it means to a certain group of people. And as far as like whether it's treason or rebellion, like I just think it's semantics at that point. Like they wanted to secede, so it wasn't like they were like, we're going to conquer all of North America. I would think that to me sounds like a revolution. Although I guess
because
who knows where would have gone if they were winning.
We were treasonous against England.
Yes, we were.
Like we were definitely treasonous. So it's really, if that's treason, then the South leaving is or attempting to leave is definitely treason.
Yeah, think about it this way, because there's only 100 years between the two. Our founding fathers, the guys that we place above everything else, they also committed treason, and it was partially for slavery too, right? But 100 years later, some guys did the same thing, and those are the monsters.
Yeah, well, I guess it's like a total example of history is written by the victor, right?
Yeah, I was thinking
it's
the same
exactly
thing.
that.
Yeah, history is written by the victor, except in the case of the South, where I feel like they get to keep flying their Confederate flags. They get to claim it was about states' rights,
take them away constantly.
as if.
Yeah, they're always like they're right now
recently.
trying to.
Last year they took South Carolina's away.
They took down a Confederate. I don't know if it was a Confederate monument or like a Civil War monument. I have no idea. There was one here in St. Louis that they took down, and it was like, I remember seeing like how much money it cost to take down a statue, and it was like, oh my god, like what fucking statue removal company are you people hiring? Like this is Joe's $1 million statue removal. Like, it's like, you know what? I can't waste time with another call. It's not my money anyway. Fuck it. Like,
I got a tractor. I'll do it for $500,000.
Yeah, that's what you need.
Somebody
call
me.
Statue removal, because that is very lucrative now. But
I saw where a guy, I didn't see where it was, but he had ran over a Ten Commandment monument. I guess they came to some agreement somewhere, wherever this is, where like they would privately fund a Ten Commandments monument and put that on state property on like the courthouse.
Mhm.
And this thing is big. Like imagine like a podium that like you would stand in front of at a press conference, and then with a big tablet on top of that. Like this thing is like 5 feet tall and like 2.5, 3 feet wide, big and heavy. This guy films with his cell phone. He's like in his car. He goes, "This is what freedom feels like." Wah! Bam! And hits the fucking thing and knocks it the fuck over, and it shatters everywhere.
that seems like more like vandalism.
You look at the picture of the guy and his mugshot. Big beard, about 28, 29 years old. He's like, he's smiling in the mugshot.
No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that. He said some of those people are good people.
He said there were good people with good intentions on both sides of the Charlotte issue.
But there's no good side to that.
There
That's
was.
the point.
There were the
Let's get
people
the
that
quote
wanted.
right.
There were people that wanted to destroy a statue, and there were people that wanted to keep the statue there, not because
No.
any.
The quote that you're using was when we saw the guys in the tiki torches marching. That's when he used that quote.
Oh no.
Well,
that
they played
happened
the quote
after.
while they played
He
that
was
clip.
literally talking about the people that were there to support the statue or wanted the statue taken down. Now, the people that were there to support it, talking about, and I was from this school of thought too. I think anything that has happened historically in this country should be available for people to see
Absolutely.
and debate and talk about and know that we went through some very difficult times where a lot of mistakes were made. And
Totally agree.
statues were erected to people that weren't the fucking greatest people. But
Yes.
to rip it down almost is counterproductive. You want to go up and go, hey, let me read this plaque. Who's this guy? Wow. That guy, maybe I'll read up more on this one. Holy shit, what a piece of shit this guy was. And not only that, a lot
Hitler
of these statues were
statues.
built in the 30s when then you get another whole line of why during this time, what was going on in the country where they felt they needed to pay tribute to these soldiers. Like there's so much education.
You will not
and
find
This
any
doesn't sound
statues
right.
of
These
the
statues
SS
are-
in Germany.
Right. These statues are Confederate soldiers, right? The guys who were fighting to keep slaves in
Right.
heroic
Exactly.
poses, typically. And these plaques you see under them rarely say this was a total dickbag.
Exactly.
I'm
No, they're
fine
like
with
these are the
changing the plaque.
heroic. Right.
I just
No,
don't think any history should be eliminated.
It talks
not
about the
eliminating
sacrifices
history.
they made.
Where
It talks
I would
about
like
how
to think
brave
we're
they are,
smart
how
enough.
long they marched, how hard they fought.
I
Like,
would like to
it-
think we're smart enough to be able to look at stuff in context and go and not go, let's get rid of it. Let's go, wow, why?
But
Why
we've
in
proven we're not smart
1930
enough.
did they decide to put? So we're gonna assess who's smart enough and who's not smart enough to handle reality. And when we decide that certain people can't, we eliminate the whole thing for anybody.
Removing
you're
a
really making
statue is
heroes
not
out of bad
eliminating
guys.
it.
I'm not. No, I'm not.
Removing
No,
I mean,
a
but here, the
statue.
statues do, and they were put up there by people who, and that was their intent, right?
Yes.
You know, the daughters of the Confederates
The
were not
Dixiecrats.
trying to prove the bad things that their family did. They were
Exactly.
there to create these heroic
Again,
monuments to
isn't
bad
that a
people.
context? Isn't that a context that needs to be looked into? And you could actually use that and say, wow, we had organizations in the 30s that put these statues up. Why did that happen so long
They
after
put
the
it
Civil
in
War?
the center
then-
square of Raleigh, North Carolina, where I live, on top
Yeah.
of these pedestals, and I tell you, they look like heroes when you look at it. They put them in
Exactly.
front of courthouses. They're not like exposing our dirty history so we can remember what we did wrong. That's not what these statues do
But
in the
they
slightest.
could now. They were put there fucking 100 years
You'd
ago.
have to put a different statue there if you wanted to fulfill that goal. These
Exactly.
people look
No,
amazing.
not fulfill that goal. You need it to look like it did when they put it up and explain why they put it up. And that, I think that's a teaching opportunity. When
No.
you eliminate history, You are just you're not letting people look into
Listen,
why
no.
something happened.
You're not
and when it
eliminating
happened.
history by removing a statue.
I
That's
think you
ridiculous. Nope, no, you're not. You will not see SS statues in Germany.
No,
and no one's forgot about what happened.
I think they've got like some.
You tear it down and then you teach them why it was torn down. That's how you keep.
These are not
Rommel-
Holocaust museums in the Raleigh Center Square when they put some general up that fought to keep slaves.
But when they put it up in 1930, I think it's a learning opportunity there. I think there's a history lesson as to, like I said, why. Years and years after the Civil War, were they still putting statues up of these people? It definitely is. When they said they were
move, it was done to make them as heroes. That's what the Dixiecrats. That's why the Dixiecrats created.
Whatever it was at the time, it's taking the statue away isn't going to take away what was going on back then. To educate people what
do they do with those statues? Because I want one.
They melt them down. They're melting them down and making other statues. They're melting them down and make a George Floyd statue.
They put them in museums. They relocate them. They take them away.
No, they don't. They said they were going to do that. Not one of them's ended up in a museum. They're literally melting them down.
I mean, you could do something with it.
Then the other thing, here's another thing.
I'm pretty sure there's like busts or statues of like Erwin Rommel, like the Nazi general that exist in museums or something like that. I doubt they have a big statue.
Not in Germany.
But they're never going to put up.
I mean, you wouldn't want one in like Northern Africa where he was fighting, would you? How do you think? I think the only good place for that would be Germany.
They took a statue of Teddy Roosevelt, giant statue, been there forever, in front of the Museum of Natural History here in New York. It was Teddy Roosevelt on a horse, beautiful statue. He's being followed by American Indians. Slaves, American Indians who were with him, and some African Americans that were with him. And it was portrayed. It was they said it looks like they're being subservient. Well, they were. That was the time. But to take away a statue like that happened. That stuff happened. It isn't like, no one looks and goes, God, we should do that now. I'd love to be up on a big horse with some Indians and black people behind me, making sure I have my supplies and everything.
Again,
no one's saying that.
There's a lot of people who say that, actually.
I don't think there are.
And they're Trump supporters.
Said Teddy Roosevelt was a crazy.
Trump supporters can't ride horses.
Was like a Teddy Roosevelt.
Maybe a mule.
Loved the American outdoors. He had so much to do with our.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Parks.
You're trying to find the good points about the guy.
No, Teddy Roosevelt was pretty fucking good. He was a good guy. And again, the national parks of this country, Yellowstone, all these places.
He fought the Mexicans.
He did fight the Mexicans and San Juan Hill in Cuba. He fought the Spanish too.
Yeah,
listen, my ex is Italian, and you won't see any Mussolini. You won't see any Mussolini statues in Italy.
Well, he sucked.
Il Duce.
He lost.
Oh, he was a piece of shit. He was such
They
a
all were.
Hitler wannabe.
I looked up where the statue is now, and I feel like Anthony was right. I just want to call this. I was thinking of Silent Sam. He was a Confederate statue in
Silent
UNC
Sam.
campus.
I remember summer of 1977, New York City.
I don't know this, but in 19...
Son of Sam.
That was a completely different thing, bro.
Anyway, this was a statue. It was major news around here. He was on the UNC campus. And he got toppled in 2018, and now he's hidden in some storage location that they don't advertise because everyone was trying to wreck that statue. They actually had cops stationed around this Confederate statue 24 hours a day to protect it from all the people who hated it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but they got outnumbered, and they toppled it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For instance, here in Toronto, we're actually changing one of the names of the university, who is named after a bad guy, and there's no problem.
What kind of
no
bad
one's
guy?
got a problem with it. Sorry.
What kind of bad guy?
Essentially, he just destroyed a lot of Native Canadians.
Oh, see again with the natives. I'm
the
other side of that coin.
So what I'm saying is, we're changing actual names of streets and taking down statues and changing school university names.
Scrubbing
and
history,
people are not trying to fight it. because we understand
but it's
that
scrubbing.
you
People
don't.
are trying to fight it.
That's not.
They're not
but
being given
you're
any
equating.
time to give. They're not being given any time to give their opinions because they're instantly looked at and tagged with the big scarlet letter R for racist. That's
so
how
it should
people
be.
are petrified. I don't think so. I think it's a scrubbing of history, and
Scrubbing.
I don't know.
Scrubbing of history is book burning, and that's what a certain party loves.
We
to
see
do.
that too. So I don't
Dude,
know.
did you see I've talked about
Tom
it here
Sawyer.
before. Did you
I've
see
seen that one burnt.
You've got to see the video of the school
Babies
board
are
meeting.
racist.
There's a school board meeting in Georgia, and
Tom
they
Sawyer.
one of the parents starts reading one of the books that they take issue with aloud.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and they stop her. They're like, whoa, whoa, whoa,
Fantastic.
ma'am, there are children watching this live stream. And she's like, do you see that you just made my point? I'm reading a book from the library where our children go to school. And you, madam, think it's too racy to be read aloud in these chambers. It's like, come on. And it was pretty dirty. I like
I was getting off.
on one hand, I'm like, I mean, it was pretty hot. But on one hand, I'm, high schools are getting laid. They're fucking each other. It's like they all have cell phones, right? Like they've seen some shit.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I don't know what it's like to grow up in high school with a cell phone, right? Like it was a little.
I would have
you
porn
imagine?
during biology class, and I'd pass all my tests.
And then you pass because you know everything.
So maybe a
I'd
dirty book,
cheat.
like as long as that book isn't like in I don't know, like fifth grade room or something like that. Like it seems fine.
That's the thing. I thought it was a high school library.
It would seem to me like it's okay for high school.
That's how Stonewall Jackson died during the Civil War. Lots of people say the South would have won if he hadn't gotten shot that day. What do you think, Wings?
He got shot in the leg and his horse fell on him and he died of a leg infection.
That's not even true, Wings. That he got shot by his own men on a foggy night returning from a recon patrol, and he got shot. And he died.
Which one died from the horse fall then?
That was one of the great Indian chiefs, maybe
No, this was the
Geronimo,
South.
Sitting Bull, someone like that. They fell off a horse drunk into cold water and then died like a week or two later of the flu, I think, or pneumonia. Pneumonia, that's what it was. It's either Sitting Bull or Geronimo, one of those guys. But Stonewall Jackson was shot by his own man. Friendly fire.
Richard B. Garrett. That's what I'm thinking about.
I've never heard of that guy.
He got shot by his own men in the leg, and he fell off his horse, and they cut his leg off, and he ended up dying of fever.
Now, I want to ask you guys, as being products of Southern education, is it true that the Civil War is taught? I mean, I guess you wouldn't be able to say definitively that it's different, but from what you've heard from, let's say, a more liberal.
So I had only in one class did I encounter that. I had a middle school teacher named Mr. Mackinson. You stupid fucker, if you're watching this. And Mr. Mackinson was part of a group known as the Sons of Confederate Veterans.
Yeah, I know.
And they do, Civil War reenactments. And we actually had one of these reenactments at the high school one time. They all came out with their cannons and muskets and uniforms. But long story short, Mr. Mackinson taught that and it was almost a propaganda film he showed us that was that basically the line of thought was that the Civil War wasn't fought over slavery, which to a point is very true. But they really, really wanted to focus in on that and excuse the South completely from the Civil War and just completely side skirt all those slavery issues. It didn't even delve into that.
Okay.
Yeah, but the Civil War wasn't about slavery, though. I mean, slavery was a tool used by Abraham Lincoln to swing favor into a presidency that wasn't favored at all.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's funny about Abraham Lincoln, slavery, and the Civil War, and how the three of those are interconnected, and how Lincoln felt about the two of those things. Didn't he have a quote that was something like? Didn't he?
No outcome whatsoever.
Didn't he say something one time that was to the effect of, if I could end the war by freeing every slave, I would. But if I could end the war by leaving every slave in bondage, I would. I don't think it was.
He wanted out of the war.
I think I don't think it was really thought that much about slavery. But what I was getting at is I thought his class was weird. Just 'cause that guy was total racist. You could tell. I always liked fucking with him. There was a time where I faked a seizure in class until he picked me up and tried to carry me to the office, and then I was like, "Gotcha!" and he just dropped me cold right on the concrete. So that guy's a prick.
Well, Are you asking like, are we taught differently? Like, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure we understand the North won the war. And they don't like propaganda that to us.
Right. Well, the joke often is that Southern textbooks are still like, well,
The war of Northern aggression.
right, that kind of stuff. The war of Northern
I've never
aggression.
read a Northern textbook, but I can tell you what the Southern one says.
Mhm.
And it mainly talks about God, what's his name? The general that wouldn't cross the Potomac with like a huge ass armory. Like they basically make
Sherman?
it feel like
You're talking
the
about
North
Sherman
fears the
burning
South.
Atlanta?
And Robert E. Lee, he was like the best general ever, and like they paint that kind of picture, but they don't paint the picture of like where Sherman came across and burned Atlanta to the ground. They say it, they don't like highlight it as a big
We
defining
highlighted
feature.
That was a big thing for us. Like the complete destruction of Atlanta was a big part of what we learned.
And like, I mean, there's a lot of people around here that live in the Civil War still. Like I have a buddy, his name is Rusty. He just opened a paranormal store on Main Street in Conway. I want to go look at that store. But like he is one of the sons of the Confederates, veterans, and like
You need to make a vlog tomorrow, going to the paranormal store,
I thought about
buying
it.
something cool and then testing it out, and maybe talk to the son of a Confederate veteran and ask him
And
what
like-
he thinks
like,
the Civil War was about.
Like on his days off work, he would like go to the old churches that were like commissioned during the Civil War, because we still have some of those hanging around. And like he likes to ghost hunt in the old Confederate graveyards and shit. It's creepy. I mean, that guy's he's like whacked out or something.
All right.
But that would be a pretty cool place to shoot a vlog at, like one of those old Confederate graveyards that we have hanging around here. They got the little rickety gate and shit.
It would be cool, I think. I like to walking vlog. I think it looks nice. Like I've watched walking vlogs before, especially if they're going someplace kind of interesting. You see the scenery change if they make a turn or two. If you're like, that's that guy's neighborhood, and you can see all the houses that surround him. It gives me an insight into his world that like a sitting blog in front of a monitor doesn't.
I don't like the sitting vlog in front of the monitor.
Yeah,
I feel like they're lazy, they're tacked on, and like they're the same thing every time you do it.
And we're live.
Your daughter goes to UNC, right?
He does, yeah, Chapel Hill.
I'm a little concerned, Woody, that perhaps she has fallen in with a terrorist group.
It is possible. Carry on.
It's just possible.
I'm not suggesting that you call your daughter, but perhaps text her and ask her if she was at this. I believe she's become a member of Antifa. I'm just gonna lay it right out there, because recently at the
word.
Yeah, on the
Sam you're headed towards, right? Or is that I have it right?
Silent Sam, the Confederate statue known as Silent Sam, was toppled by protesters recently on the UNC campus. They threw up like it was very coordinated, right? These were not like, I feel like when the right has dummies, they're shooting pistols off in a park and like and being racist. When the left has assholes, these guys knew what was up. They like hid their actions with like banners and tarps. And someone they don't really know like hooked on straps to the thing and yanked it down. And so they toppled this statue that they believe is racist, this Confederate statue. I would love it if someone photoshopped Hope like into the crowd.
No. This.
No, of course not. But
nice.
I'm wondering if she were there. She was there perhaps at the thing, or if she knows anything about it. I was just concerned that maybe she's taken up with the wrong crowd.
You know, Kyle's made no points, but I'm on his side.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
See, you know what I think is really rude about these Confederate statue tears down is that once the statue's down, none of these assholes are considerate enough to be like, all right, let's pick it up and take care of it so that the early morning janitor doesn't show up and be like, oh no, like hundreds of pounds of statue. Very rude, and it's littering.
Well, taking it is theft, though. Fair point.
Here's what I asked her. I said, I'm doing PKA right now. They're asking if you were around when Silent Sam was pulled down. And she said that she wasn't around, but that she could hear it from her room.
Ah. What she means is that
she means what she said.
The five fingers of the Antifa fist, of which she is one, were sure to once they had the event planned, they made sure that
I don't want Hope to be a target of attention.
No, of course not. I'm being silly. No. I know she's not a member of Antifa, and she didn't rip any Confederate statues down. She's a lovely person and wonderfully talented. As
she said, and I happen to know that I went to UNC's campus in the spring. I was just walking around with Hope and stuff, and they have police guarding Silent Sam all the time. Last year they spent $200. It was either $200 or $339,000 on Silent Sam, of which $3,000 was cleaning, and the other $336,000 was round the clock security.
Are you serious?
I saw the cops there. Like there were 2 cops posted next to Silent Sam to keep it safe because people were threatening to. It's been a target of attention for years.
They could have spent like $100,000 and just like build it taller.
They could have
make it harder.
Put a cage around it, reinforce it, or just tear it down, right? Because like nobody cares. Like I don't know about you, but no, I don't think any of my. I don't know if my ancestors fought in the Confederate in the Civil War, the War of Northern Aggression, as we call it. But I don't care. I don't care if they did. I mean, they were probably one of my thoughts that I have on it is that a lot of the people who fought were just poor farm boys who didn't really have a say as far as slavery went or states' rights or any of that stuff. They were just sort of going to defend their homeland. But the higher ups of the Confederacy, Jefferson Davis or whoever, those people who were running the show, evil, terrible people for the most part. So I get both sides, I suppose.
She says if you look angrily towards the statue, the cops start walking towards you quickly.
Oh.
What? Yeah. If you go, they'll be like, we got a problem. Like,
I don't know.
Quick, send the highest paid cop in America over.
That's insanity.
Yeah, no, they actually.
You're breaking up.
Lost you, Woody.
It's coming back. They have multiple cops watching it all the time.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's a huge waste of money. I can't believe that. Like, I feel like even like some like redneck, racist conservative who wants the statue there would be like, that's a huge waste of fucking money. God damn. Hell, tear it down, give me the money. I'll be fine with that.
That cognitive dissonance does not it doesn't apply there.
Wow.
As long as it fits their narrative.
What a waste of fucking money. That's absurd.
Yeah,
why are we so shitty at building statues? We can go to space, but you can't build a statue that kids can't tear down.
They built it in 1913.
Well, just like make it better. I don't know.
It's been there for 105 years, doing just fine.
Make America's Confederate statues great again.
Make them so all the Antifa rope just snaps. And
look at that Chinese rope break on old Silent Sam. They get you, baby.
I don't even know who Silent Sam is.
That's the name of the statue.
I wouldn't know who any of these characters were unless they put them in the news for stuff like this, you know?
Silent Sam's not an actual person. He's a Confederate soldier facing towards the north to honor the people who dropped out of school to go fight in the war. And he's silent. And I guess this is a trend, but he's silent because I guess he's missing like the pouch on the side that would hold his ammo. So because he doesn't have that ammo, he doesn't fire, and that makes them silent.
Bizarre. Well, they should have spent that money on a fence.
That's boring.
Is that like a Southern poem or something like that?
I was. It's in the news right now. So
an old-timey limerick, you know.
No,
this game that I linked here, this is the future. Have you heard of this? It's a Civil War.
I just saw that. It looks like it's so cinematic.
So fire. Is this like Hell Let Loose vibes? Because that's what I've been playing that a lot too lately.
But with lots of role play. So this is called War of Rights. It is a Civil War game.
Yo, look at all these idiots. Dude, are you a guy that can hold a flag and not do anything else? Because that's sick. And you just buff the people around you, and you're just holding a flag.
Banjo guy. You could be the banjo guy if you want. Like there's.
Oh, you can be a bard.
If you see the the videos, people are role playing as like Confederates, and they're all doing their accents and sometimes being a little racist. And it's like a real hoop.
Yeah, I hope so. When in Rome, like I want a little bit of racism in my Confederate game, right?
Yeah. For Nikki Haley.
For states' rights. Like I don't want that. I want
states' rights to do what? There's no telling. Where the
Do
fuck
you own
we want.
slaves? No, I'm poor as shit. Do you? Me neither. But let's fuck these Yanks up. Let's get them. That'd be good.
I've been playing those games where you're like have a whole like Hell Let Loose or whatever, and so there's squads and the squad leaders could talk to each other, and there's a commander who talks to all the squad leaders, and I don't like being a squad leader or the commander. I like to be a medic, and I like to just do what I'm told. Because I find in life a lot, I've been like, you know, like a captain in my football team or whatever. Maybe because I'm outspoken, I find myself in these leadership positions. When I play video games, I just want to be a fucking grunt. So I always do it. And then the responsibility is never, no, someone's not doing it or they're not talking. And after a couple games, I'll end up as a squad leader or as a commander. And I'm higher ranked as commander because I'm always like so vocal in these games. Yeah. It's not what I want to do. But it's like it's what I'm pretty good at in the game. Even like just, you know, this just funny scenario. Telling people to keep their comms clean when they're having fun playing a video game is funny. Because like they're still they're trying to have fun, but like it's also like I know you guys are having fun. I appreciate that, but there's 64 other dudes on this team and they want to win. They don't necessarily want to just have fun. Some of them are old and they're by themselves in their basement. So let's keep these comms clean, okay? And let's get Foxtrot to move over and like.
But in your heart, you're a gamer sub. You want to be told what to do. You want to be bossed around.
Very
Harley,
accurate.
get that tight ass up to the A flag.
I do. I get someone will like sometimes I'll get in the game and the squad leader. I'll be like, squad leader, what do you need, sir? And he's like, we could use support. I'm like, yes, sir. And then I'm like, support. And he's like, just drop that right here. I'm like, yes, sir. And he's like, okay, kill yourself and redeploy as an engineer. I'm like, yes, sir. And I killed myself. I wait 10 seconds in a black screen, come back in as an engineer. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, drive me here. I'm like, cool. He's like, kill yourself, be a support. I'm like, yes, sir.
See, now that guy's a gamer.
That feels good. That feels so bad.
Dude, it's about winning.
And it's also like I like having a mission and doing a thing and being part of the team. Like when I play Battlefield, it was always healing.
If you're actually doing that and building those structures where he wants them, like that would be a massive help because no one else is doing that for him. Everybody else wants to be like, oh no, there's like 80 riflemen, one medic, and one guy who actually wants to go. Like I can't remember there's this one game where it's a war that's continuously going. Like it's going right now. It was going last week and it'll be going 2 weeks from
Israel
now.
and Palestine.
But it's a big like war game where you're like fighting for lines. It's continuous. And some people on the team have to like mine for the ore that's making the shells.
Oh yeah, it's like a cartoon game. Is it like a top down? Like it's
top
like
down.
Okay.
Yeah. And it looks so it reminded me of Squad with how everybody who played it seemed to be like 30s, 40s and like super into it. Because it's very important that some of your team are back home. It's like World War I or something where like you need people back home getting the ore and melting the tin.
You don't have
or whatever.
You literally will not have artillery if your team has not been building artillery and it's not quite as fun as running around with a machine gun.
Right?
I don't want to do chores in a game.
I don't think there could be a real civil war, but I think that there could be a lot of disquiet. Like what I worry is there's some little sparking off moment where federal troops go and they start tearing down wire and state troops say not a step further. And like what do they shoot at each other at some point? Would they? I don't know.
No, I don't. I think there's two separate things here. There's going down to the border because America's had enough of this incompetent president and our porous borders. So they're taking the law into their own hands, which is good. But as far as like America and a civil war, it's already happened. We had a national divorce. And we're not talking to each other's families are split. And there's two Americas. There's right and left. And we'll never reconcile. Like and I like the analogy of divorce because sometimes I like to joke with divorced couples and I'll be like, oh, I heard that you dropped off your kids with Sandra and you stayed and had a beer. And he goes, yeah, I had to because my son had to clean out his shit from the car. And I go, so are there some sparks? Are we rekindling? And every time I do that joke, the other person always goes, like there's no fucking way they are ever going back with her. And I feel that way about this divorce. There's the people that would enjoy this podcast. And then there's the people that would say it's evil. And there seems to be no in between anymore. So I think we realized in the first Civil War that there's too many bodies when we fight each other. And now it's just like, all right, let's agree to disagree and quietly separate. And soon it's going to be geographic. So, like, I live in a very liberal community, and no one wants me there, and no other MAGA people are ever going to move into my neighborhood, and I'm moving out as soon as the kids go to college, and soon that area will be a shitty fucking liberal hellhole with crappy schools because they base it on affirmative action, and I'll move to the South, or like South Carolina, where everyone is normal and good.
Moving to South Carolina for the good schools.
Well, I won't care.
You want to go to North Carolina for that, but Colorado's the place, right? With the interesting demographics. I guess I'll phrase it that way. If I was going to go somewhere, it'd be Colorado. I've got too much family down here in the South, but man, I hate the fucking obnoxiously humid summers. I've had enough of those.
Yeah, I can't go that far south. I need to be like, if I'm going to go to South Carolina, I'll get up in the mountains, but heat is AIDS to me. I fucking cannot handle it. I'm racist towards heat.
I mean, Southern California has the good weather, but it takes a lot of money to have a good life in Southern. Like, if you want to live in San Diego, which might have America's best weather,
yeah,
like $3 million does not give you a good life there.
What is real estate like there? Like, what does a house even look like when you spend? Let's say you spend $1.5 million on a house. What is a San Diego abode that costs 1.5 cost? Right? Zach, show me. I bet in Georgia, and again, I'm from down here, but in the suburbs of Atlanta, or if you go a little further out in the country, a $500,000 house is a fucking mansion. It is a mansion. It is a 3-story estate that's 8,000 square feet. It is nice. And there's property around it for $500,000. I bet in San Diego, you might not even be in a real fucking house for $1.5 million.
I'm sure you can find a townhouse at $500,000.
yeah, I suppose so.
That sucks.
Does that have a house on it? What are we looking at?
What are we buying? Exactly.
2-bedroom, 2-bath.
That looks like a motel, dude.
800 square feet. If I'm reading at my screen,
I get a motel room there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough, man.
I was following Anthony to Greenville, South Carolina, and I looked at a bunch of real estate there. A reasonable house for a family of 3 was $700,000 to $1 million. Because
really?
All the New Yorkers are moving down there, and they totally fucked. And you would look up Zillow, and it would be like, this house was bought for $600,000, and now it's for sale for $1 million.
Damn. And you said that was Greenville?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know
that is
Greenville.
An ugly house for $1.5 million.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Yeah, I don't know. It depends what kind of weather you like too. I like.
Do you like good weather?
I think San Diego's not the hot that you hate. It's like a dry 75 to 85 all the time.
I kind of like dreary fucking overcast days, if I'm being honest. Yeah. I like it to be kind of chilly. I want to be able to wear like a jacket or an extra layer. I want to wear long pants and leather shoes.
Not sure.
You're the guy who likes buffalo.
You don't wear short pants?
No. I don't want to be in the fucking Arctic with like raw dick in some townie like Zach. Sorry, Zach.
Said he wants it
strays over there.
Where are you living right now?
I'm in Atlanta.
Oh, so it's just a fucking oven.
Yeah. In the summer, it's obnoxiously fucking hot. It's super humid. That's the main thing.
And in the winter, it gets down to 48, right?
It gets. At night it gets fucking freezing fucking cold. It's just not your real deal cold like you get in the Midwest. But everybody above you would laugh at your cold, and the people above them laugh at their fucking cold. Cold is cold. People freeze to death here. Maybe not as much as they do in your fentanyl-filled wasteland. 3 fucking Chiefs fans died in a backyard high on fentanyl and some other drug cocktail. They froze to death in a backyard.
You know what?
I looked up Atlanta
overdoses?
Weather. It's going down to 45 tonight. So I think you have some work.
Getting brisk.
Yeah, I mean, it's February. It's the coldest
Fentanyl
month of the year.
overdoses are part of our Midwest culture, and I will not have you insulting it.
45 to 50 is perfect weather. It's big in the South. I was in the South recently, and I was fucking exhausted and drunk at like 1:30 a.m. Like, I gotta fucking pack it in. I wonder how everyone else in this bar is doing. And I look around, and it's just
bug-eyed alert.
Every single person in the bar, teachers, middle-aged people, young people, old people, they all had golf balls for eyes. And I realized, holy fuck, this whole town's on meth. It's like
there's
down there.
the poor parts of the South, particularly like the mountains of Tennessee and North Georgia, where bootlegging back in Prohibition times was a thing, and even later on, inexplicably, they do meth now because they have those places that they used to hide stills. Now they hide meth labs, and they're way up in some shitty mountain that nobody goes in a town with 500 people in it, and so they have like task forces and squads that have to.
Oh,
do
dude,
helicopter shit and aircraft shit. It's crazy.
Here in Missouri, meth is like a sport. Like we have the greatest meth heads as far as the not great in their scale. They're very unpleasant. They're violent.
I'll give you that as long as you let Atlanta have the best black people, because they're the majority here. I looked up the demographics of your hometown. You're still leading the way. Not here.
We're still leading the way.
I'm in Atlanta.
He's in Atlanta. But he's not in a high quality city like St. Louis, the cultural hub of Missouri.
Both of those cities need a nuclear bomb. I that Atlanta had 1,200 squatters who have taken over, not abandoned homes, your home. Like you go away on vacation, you come back and a squatter is there. 1,200 homes squatted in Atlanta.
Yeah, I watch police videos, and far too often they're in Atlanta, Georgia, blah 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 every single time. There's so much crime here. It's I enjoy it. I think it's the spice of life when you drive around and see wild shit happening. But I know Taylor likes to stand on this St. Louis is scary shit. But I promise you,
we're going to be a better city than Atlanta in 100 years, maybe. You know, like we'll
see how the next Civil War goes.
We're an embarrassing city. I hate that. We got a Stanley Cup in 2019. We're riding on that.
St. Louis?
Yeah, St. Louis.
Yeah, that's just a hellhole. That makes me think of it was never discovered.
Yeah,
Gavin, I wanted to ask you.
Obama's a loser piece of shit who ruined America. And
I don't agree with that.
It's the second coming of Christ.
You think? You think
Trump is the second coming of Christ?
These are objective facts. I'll save my opinion for later.
No, if Christ came back, he would be fit. That's the biggest argument against it for Trump. If Jesus came back, he's not going to be overweight. There's no chance.
Dude, Can we?
I'm not a big Christian, but didn't Jesus fuck whores? Am I crazy?
No.
Mary of Magdalene, she wasn't like, what was that?
No, he washed.
I'm pretty sure this is accurate.
You're incorrect.
Don't go head to head with Bible.
He washed the feet of prostitutes and whores to show that even the lowest was worthy of that.
I think Trump would do that.
No, Trump would not wash someone's feet.
Yeah,
no, he's 80. He can't bend over. None of these people can
I
bend.
picture her putting her feet
But
up.
yeah, you think, Gavin, you don't think that if Christ came back, he'd be fit, like striated, defined delts? Like,
are we calling Trump unfit, an 80-year-old man with a pot belly? Dude, you know what? How fit you're going to be when you're 80?
I won't make it.
I'll be dead before that.
Because you'll be a skeleton.
Mm-hmm.
I won't be.
And thinner than Trump.
Technically, but not in a good way.
If Jesus came back right now and he saw Trump, he'd go, "Oh shit, I'm already back."
And then he'd be waving a Trump flag.
Jesus would take his blonde hair out of his eyes and put it in.
Can I sidetrack the whole show and pull up the clip I was talking about earlier, just so you can see it? We don't have to watch the whole thing, but you got to see this punchline.
All right.
This is a terrible thing to do in a podcast. You hijack it.
No, you're good.
Clips on the.
Shout out Ryan.
What's up?
All right.
I had it before, and then I threw it away.
What? You threw it away?
I threw it in the garbage.
No. Don't throw things away. Now I've ruined the whole podcast.
All right, I got it.
So sorry.
All right, we're gonna have to start over.
Blue Chew.
Yeah, we got two Cumberland products.
Let me tell everyone about my sex life.
3 times. Okay.
They ask him a question, Bill from NBC. They ask him a question. The border is very strong. It's very normal. And things are going very well on the border. Oh, thank you very much for the news conference. Thank you. And then he walks into a wall.
He's just having a fun time up there riffing. And I like that you can hear
the like Seinfeld laugh track in the back from the people who are like obsessed with him, and because at this point, like you got to be pretty obsessed with Trump to go watch him talk somewhere. I feel.
Come on, you're not going?
It's not the funniest thing you've ever seen.
No, he has funnier clips. I think Trump is a funny guy.
Every time I see somebody do Trump's material, they do it better than Trump. Like when Shane Gillis talks about what Trump said with the dogs and everything, the beautiful dogs, it's his impression of Trump's speech is way better than Trump's speech. When David Chappelle goes on SNL and says, Trump got up there and said, I don't pay taxes because I'm smart. That was powerful. When Trump said, you won't remove my tax loopholes because people like me are your donors. That was powerful. But then I watched Trump say it, and it wasn't nearly as effective as when Chappelle said it, nor was it as effective when Shane Gillis said it.
Because you worship black people, and every time they say something, you start ejaculating.
Only black men.
And gays.
Yeah.
And black women.
And fats. He likes fats.
Only thin black people.
America worships black people to the point of royalty. Like Jay-Z gets up the Grammys. Him and his wife are worth $3 billion. They have the most expensive house in the history of Los Angeles. And he's giving the Dr. Dre Award of Lifetime Achievements or whatever. And he's like, hey, how come my wife never got an award for Best Album? And then he just leaves. And you're like,
yeah, I saw him pouring booze in his Grammy and drinking it out of it. Like, I guess, trying to be disrespectful, but it's just,
dude, we were talking about gay. Following the Grammys is gay, dude. Like that's
Gavin,
I have
Gavin
no
so
idea
far
what's going on.
Follows the Grammys and he clink shovels. He's not looking good here.
I was just going to say, I think I'd be good at running the educational system of this country. I feel like I'd be the guy, the one you'd want to call upon to make that happen. Because when I hear food science, I just think that's a wasted elective. Like that.
Really?
Most of them. I feel like most of the electives, the only history
Just
they
for, like,
teach in
ag
high
majors.
school, like in high school, did they teach you anything beyond like the basics of American history and World War II? I feel like everything else I know came from the History Channel.
Dude, it was like American history was literally the complexity that The Simpsons made fun of in that episode when Apu becomes a citizen, and he's like, "What?" The guy's like, "Mr. Whatever, what caused the Civil War?" And he's like, "Oh, that is a very specific question and interesting because it was very multifaceted and different." He's like, "Just say slavery." He's like, "Oh, slavery it is then." And then they go on and he becomes a citizen. That's what my
not
American
what they taught us the Civil War was about.
You got
there was a little time in the 80s when the motivation for the Civil War was taught to be that the South was trading with Europe and the North wanted the South to trade with them kind of exclusively. And that's what the war was about. That's not what the war was about. Like literally states are pulling out of the Union saying we want to own black people. And my school system bent over backwards to like remove that part from the motivation. Silly.
Yeah, like that's what the history was
And
like.
much that we once knew has been lost.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a little bit of knowledge that we lost there. They erased the truth from Woody's schools.
They did, or maybe they implanted the truth. Ooh, little X-Files.
Maybe there was no Civil War. You ever think of that?
No, never.
Do you know any? Do you know a single Civil War veteran? Do you know anybody who was a slave or owned a slave? I'm not sure any of that happened.
I don't know any slave owners.
Yeah, it's just this story that
Nor
for
any
some
slave.
reason, all of a sudden, the northern states have some sort of like something over on the southern ones, and you were bad. Those are the racist states. No, I think it's a big ploy, big democratic ploy.
Yep, those dastardly Democrats came in there. Well, what did you get taught? Did they just say slavery for you?
Well,
What do they
Mr.
teach you in
Mackinson,
Georgia.
Mr. Mackinson showed us a video called. The title of the video was "The Civil War Was Not About Slavery." That was the name of the cassette that he put into the VCR and wheeled that little TV out for us. He was also a member of the Sons of the Confederate Veterans who came and put on a performance for us one afternoon. We all got to go out in the field behind the high school and sit Indian style out there in the grass and watch them put on their Confederate uniforms and march about, wave their flags and such. And
was it realistic? Did they get their asses kicked?
I believe the South won. Didn't the South win more battles?
Yeah, the
I
South
thought they
won
did.
a lot more battles.
But
so yeah, it was realistic. They won the battle.
It's so funny how people like every war is.
There wasn't a battle.
The winner is like, yes, I win in a titan, and like usually it's pretty close.
But so no, I wouldn't say there was any propaganda hammered home. Like there was just that one day where we watched that cassette, and then that other day where we watched them go out there and bandy about in their uniforms and such. The only reenactment I've ever seen, which is when you've got the North versus the South, and they're shooting the blanks.
The South did not win more battles. I googled it.
Was it Wings House?
Yeah, of course. The Northern website would say that.
You guys, Google. I don't trust this Missouri, Georgia little factoid. I'm gonna check this out. I'm fact checking this.
What is that?
When the North is allowed to count the battles, suddenly the numbers are skewed.
I'm like, how did they win more battles and lose? Which can happen. I think that's what I'm told about Vietnam. But
I think that's what we did in the American Revolution. I think didn't Washington lose at least as many as he won? His thing was he was a good retreater.
A lot. But we won the bigger battles, right?
Washington kept retreating battle after battle, but he did a good job of it. He'd save his cannons. He'd keep his men alive, and he'd live to fight another day.
That's the problem. The South was a regular season team. The playoffs came around, and the big battles, when they mattered, the North won.
Gettysburg.
So Gettysburg. That's a big one.
They always ask, what would you do if you had a time machine? Go to Gettysburg.
You'd flip that. You'd bring a machine gun.
Oh, I just want to watch. What are you talking about? I'm crazy. No. I wouldn't want the South to win. That would be terrible. If the South had won the Civil War, it would be awful. The whole like what happens during World War II then? You know what I mean? Unless the South
there'd be two countries then.
Unless the South, unless they do what they did in the CSA. Which is a fantabulous little mockumentary that I go on about every time this topic comes up. And they conquer the North. Lincoln flees to Canada in disgrace. He's later captured. So is Harriet Tubman. They were on the flee together. Harriet Tubman's quoted as saying, "Mr. President, we both ninjas now." And then after they're done conquering the North, then they conquer all of Mexico and a little bit more of South America. Like they keep going. And they have a border wall with Canada. So there's a real potential for a Canadian war.
I wasn't liking it, but all of Mexico and a lot of South America.
And the Caribbean,
country.
The Caribbean, all that stuff. Yeah, they just keep going.
That's a better country, right?
So that'd be a better.
We have the whole U.S.
Sure.
and
for most of us, not for Black folks though. That would be a problem.
I don't think. I think Black people would not be in favor of that country. Also, in real life, I don't know. Does the South take the North or just secede? Like was their plan?
No, they would have just seceded. Yeah.
And there's no way if the South went, like the North rebuilt the South. You guys were broken and worthless, and we built you up again.
Worthless.
So, yeah.
We needed you to keep us alive for the next winter, so we quickly helped you build your buildings that we burned.
Yeah, we were running a scorched earth Civil War campaign.
Please, you weren't worth shit. You hadn't done anything. Your slaves did all your work for you. So the North, also a working
like saying
society. Hey, that's my story. I'll tell it how I want to. And, so we came down there and rebuilt your ruined society that we wrecked for kicks and shits and giggles. And I doubt the South would have done the same noble act.
Yeah, the South. I don't know. Did the South burn a bunch of northern cities?
Well, they weren't really the pinnacle of morality.
I think you have a skewed view on Reconstructionism.
Don't you tell me, Mr. Dull.
That we did learn about. We learned about those carpetbaggers. I remember that being a fucking vocabulary word. We learned
that. Yeah.
I
remember carpetbaggers.
Those cocksuckers coming down here. No,
we were in the middle though. Missouri we were waiting it out. We were seeing who was going to win.
Both sides.
We played both sides, so we always come out on top. The MAC of states.
I must be mixing up Missouri with another.
But yeah, when I drove to Wings House,
it was like split Mason-Dixon line.
It was so weird. There was a Civil War battle happening 5 minutes from his house, like in a field. Like they were rolling up on each other, North versus South, shooting black powder and cannons.
Damn. Man, any sort of cannon war. After seeing that Shogun clip and then going on YouTube and watching some of those chain shots, turns out a lot of the examples they have of those like ball and chain, like swinging shots, I guess that was huge in naval battles.
because they aimed at masts, and you could just rip a mast down. And then once the ship has no mast, it's like, all right, you guys got to either surrender and give us your shit, or we're just gonna win. Like we're gonna steal up, we're gonna kill you. And
we'll swing back around in 2 weeks when you're hungry.
Yeah, and so a naval battle would have been hell, especially with those cannons. You ever seen the end of Master and Commander?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a sick scene. He's walking down those stairs, everything's blowing up.
The sea is no joke. So I've been watching these sailing videos. Have you guys seen these on YouTube? There's like a whole genre that Sailing Vagabond, I can't say it, created. And now just, oh my God, one fucking sexy couple after the next sailing around the Caribbean. And I saw this woman, she wasn't a couple, she was by herself. And seemingly there's no land anywhere, but she must not be too far because she found a coral reef and she goes out swimming by herself. There's barracuda everywhere. And she's like, feisty barracuda, shoo. I'm like, dude, that's scary. But what's double scary is like, what if her anchor gives way? She's alone. There isn't another sight in 360 degrees. The horizon is all water, and she's out paddling around the coral reef, like just
that sounds
checking out.
So scary. I would want.
Sounds like her. That sounds like she's a smart video maker, and her boyfriend is below deck, waiting to give her some back shots and help her edit.
He'd have to be really smart. There's no boyfriend.
Did you get the footage?
It's like a 27-foot boat. Like I'd see the other people.
No, you throw me the camera, then I'll throw you the ladder.
There was another one. These people were in 15,000 feet of water, and they decided to go swimming. And what they do is they throw a line out with a fender on it, which is like an inflatable bumper to stop you from hitting the dock. It floats. And anyway, so now we've got a line with a fender, and they jump out and they hold that so that the boat doesn't get away from them. And it's this guy and the girl. They're like 2 feet away from the boat holding this line. And she goes, let's go out to the fender. And he says, what? No, I don't want to do that at all. And he did, to his credit. But it's just like, I don't know. Standing on the edge of a cliff.
Hover technology, like loiter technology? There should be a computer that tells the boat engine how to loiter. Like sit right here. Like you don't have to sit still. I'm not making a rifle shot, but I'm going down there to get some oysters or whatever the fuck. Don't leave me.
I don't think you even want that, right? Because like what you wanted to do is drift like you do.
And to be fair, if you're going down for something, then clearly there's enough room for an anchor. But in 15,000 feet of water, though, that's I guess it doesn't matter if it's 15,000 or 15, but something about looking down and having no. It matters when you look down.
Yeah, you look down and it's just an abyss of fear.
Yeah, but I drown in either one. You drown in a fucking puddle.
Something feels. It happens to me when I'm flying. I fly routinely. Like my happy place is somewhere around 2,000 to 3,000 feet, and every once in a while I go to 5,000, and it's like, whoa, hold on tight. Is this safe? As if 5,000 is more dangerous than 3. It's the same death. But swimming feels like that too. Like I felt safe in 8 feet of water, but not in 80.
Like I talked to Jackie about it. The kids in this neighborhood don't wave. What? Where's that Southern hospitality's horseshit?
North Carolina's not the South.
I haven't heard it to be true at all.
South Carolina is the South.
But North Carolina is not the South.
Oh, I thought you just said South Carolina wasn't. North Carolina is still kind of the South.
I consider Virginia the South.
Yeah, Virginia's a little more crazier than it is the South.
But for people outside the U.S. or maybe you don't know geography, Virginia is the state immediately to the north of North Carolina. And I consider Virginia the northernmost state that was from the South. Virginia fought for the Confederates in the Revolutionary War. One of the, litmus tests of whether it's a southern country or state or a northern one. And there they were. Virginia, probably one of the primary southern states that fought in that war. It
is true.
Right there. So
you can't peg down Missouri.
New Jersey, northern state. Some might say a winning state.
Some might say an excellent state that's not full of trash.
In the factories, it wasn't fair. We didn't have the ammunition.
I admit it wasn't fair. It was kind of a mismatch, one might say.
Yeah, they cheated.
Mm-hmm. with their superior production.
Mm-hmm.
They had the production facilities. We didn't have any down here.
You had free people. You had people.
What do you do with people? They can't like rub. You can't get a bunch of slaves out there and be like, rub your hands together, guys. Make some rifles.
Not with that attitude.
Not with that attitude. Clearly,
I mean, I'm sure they tried whipping the shit out of them too. Like, there's no way that you can make rifles out of rubbing your hands together.
You could have. I mean, they could be the woodworkers in the rifle making situation. They could sit there and cast bullets out of all the metal in the neighborhood and melt down the wagon wheel tread thingies and make bullets.
Mel Gibson did it.
Yes. Remember, he made bullets out of little soldier toys.
Yes, he did.
You could have had your slaves do that, whereas in the North, they had to pay people to do tasks like that.
They had to build the rifles, though, and the cannons and the gunpowder.
All tasks that slaves could do.
None of those are skilled labor tasks.
Are you saying black people have no skills?
I'm saying slaves.
I heard it.
have
Did you
few
hear it, Taylor?
skills.
I heard it.
I just don't think they had enough skill. In any case, fuck your silly state.
I've been watching this YouTuber.
I'm glad the children don't wave at you.
I've been watching this YouTuber, One Lonely Farmer, and he's a farmer from New Jersey. And every so often, I want to take one of the videos and show it to Kyle. Like, this is New Jersey too. It's not all diaper factories. Used diaper factories or whatever it is that we drive by on the turnpike. It's not all dirty diaper recycling facilities that smell like the turnpike. Right up there by exit 1516. So in Jersey, everyone identifies locations by the exit number, right? I've been through this before, but there are 3 roads in New Jersey that form a triangle. And if you say, I'm this exit on this road, then immediately everybody in the state knows pretty much where you're from. Bam, that's where I am. I'm exit this on that. And it covers like all the population centers roughly. I feel like every state should do that. Like, oh yeah, I'm exit 12 on 540. Bam. You know where that is. Instead, they just say, I'm from this town. And you're like, well, shucks, I don't really know where Carneyville, South Carolina is. Like, it doesn't help me at all.
They should do that. You should get on the line. Send that up the line.
I'll send it
We
up.
need a reform of highways in this country.
Obama, I hear you're issuing executive memos. Here's one for you.
Yeah.
We will now start referring to towns by their exit number.
Yeah. Sporting events would be interesting. Like the Route 21 Falcons versus exit 9.
That'd be great.
Yeah, and Lincoln was also like racist.
Was
he was, dude.
He was a man in the 1800s.
Yeah, in the
A white man.
1800s. I think they asked him. They're like, so after they're freed, are they going to be able to, own things and vote? And he's like, my God, no.
Yeah.
I like that Ole Miss still has the Rebels as their mascot, because every time I see that guy, like, I guess being from St. Louis, I'm a Yankee, so I'm pro Union. But when I see him, he just seems so blasé, so cool with everything. Like I like that mascot. He
looks like
cane.
a Southern Uncle Sam.
Yeah, he seems kind of neat, and because they lost, it's like fun. The same way like the Redskins were fun, or the Chicago Blackhawks are fun, or the Braves are fun. It's like, if you guys had won and like really fucked us up, we wouldn't have you as mascots on our sports teams, but you lost, and so we can kind of repatriate that.
Show that, Zach. That is a good mascot. I like that. Well, I mean, 400,000 of you did die in the effort, but I guess it was a victory.
Of you,
like you're
you
drinking
should
victory
say-
over Trout. Like, I mean, technically, yeah, but really?
Which is funny. I have this debate all the time. All my family is from Western Tennessee. So my ancestors all fought for the Confederacy. But every time the debate comes up, I'm full Union. I'm like, oh, the battle over slavery? It's about states' rights.
It is fun to like be ahistoric and just simplify it for the win and be like, oh, you really needed those blacks to pick cotton for you, you bastards. and then they have to like do a bunch of like wheelie turn geopolitical discussion of, well, actually it was because of a really complex thing, and it's like, yeah, but what was the crux of it? What was kind of the center point?
Economically, the North was oppressing the South. Why?
It's odd that like if it was,
and they were oppressing the South outside of slavery, they were, but you just center in on the slavery thing.
There's so much nuance to it, but just to make it all about slavery makes them so fucking mad.
Yeah,
the year
I got Kyle
war
fired
went
up
on,
just now.
Oh yeah, I mean the war went on for like 20 months or something before the Emancipation Proclamation. That's seems like if it was just about slavery, like that would have been a day one kind of thing for Lincoln. But he did it instead after Gettysburg.
Yeah, he like added something afterwards where it was like, it's like we were declaring war against the South, and then it was like, yeah, like a year later, and he was like, also this is because slavery's the thing.
Yeah, and Lincoln was also like racist.
Was
he was, dude.
He was a man in the 1800s.
Yeah, in the 1800s. I think they asked him. They're like, so after they're freed, are they going to be able to, own things and vote? And he's like, my God. No.
Yeah. He famously said, "Yuck."
I'll be shot in the back of the head in the theater before that happens.
That was my next
British man, Abraham Lincoln.
British man. You know what's weird is George Washington spoke like a Brit. I hate that.
No chance.
He had to. He had to have had that
did.
foppish, dandy accent.
I think the accent flipped like later on. If I'm remembering correctly, like the American accent, or like essentially how we talk as Northerners, was was the accent, or no. Actually, it was the American Southern accent. I think was the British accent at the time, and that was how everybody in England talked for years and years and years and years. Hi, Chris. And then
hey, I'm back finally.
We're talking about Civil War.
The royal family like changed their accent to the current British accent. And so it became like low class to talk in that way. But I'm pretty sure I might be pulling this out of my ass, but it feels right. It feels too specific for me to make it up. I think the modern American Southern accent is pretty similar to like how British people talked in the like late 18th century.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That is correct. Yeah, I mean, I kind of came in late, but yeah, they it was like during the colonial times, like Boston Tea Party, all that kind of stuff. When we started pulling away from them, yeah, like you said, they started coming up with this sort of fancier accent, dropping the R's, that sort of thing. At least the aristocracy did, to make themselves sound more important and separate themselves from all of us peasants and colonials. And then that just sort of grew over time, similar to that, like mid-Atlantic accent, all the people in like the old like 1930s and 40s kind of Katharine Hepburn style, Katharine Hepburn type style accent, that kind of thing. Exactly. Yeah.
That was a fun accent. They should have kept that going.
Yeah, very, very haughty. Oh, that Adolf Hitler fellow, he's a bad egg. That's good.
Yeah.
And
makes the last time pints now.
And funny enough, having an Appalachian American accent as I do, but spending a lot of time in Scotland, a lot of Appalachia was settled by Scottish people. And when I'm over there, like there's some little similarities between my accent and their accent, which pop up here and there. That's kind of funny. You can kind of see the dialect roots between that sort of really cool kind of Scottish brogue and that Southern drawl kind of cross over a lot of times.
Yeah. Appalachian,
and the Scottish
populated by the Scotch Irish.
The Scottish brought us fried chicken, so they're good in my books.
Absolutely. Anybody that shows up with fried chicken is always good.
Yeah. I bet other people were frying chicken throughout, but I think the Scots were the ones who were like, this is fantastic. Like this is all we need to eat.
that and some haggis. But funny enough, you don't find a lot of fried chicken over there now, though. However, the theory I'd always heard with why the South has so much fried food in general is just that you can cook it so much faster. Like back in the days before air-conditioned kitchens, when people are in there over an oven all day long, if it's July in Alabama and you're having to like bake a pot roast for 5 hours, your house is just miserable. And people came up with frying because they could just bust out a chicken or something in 20 minutes and not roast the house out. And that's why we're all overweight and out of shape now, supposedly.
That Philip Morris and the other tobacco companies bought so many food companies back in the day when they saw the writing on the wall and started making all of our processed food more and more addictive using the same team of scientists they used for their tobacco product. Remember,
a lot of old sayings too. Like I think not the origin, but like what we say elephant in the room now is it used to be there's a ninja in the woodpile.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard of that? Yeah, that's like an old
That's an
timey
expression
saying.
from not Huckleberry Finn. Yeah, I think in Huckleberry Finn. I think they're at I might be pulling this out of my ass, but I'm pretty sure they're at like dinner at the plantation, and you could have just called him Jim, but Ninja Jim is like hanging behind the woodpile, and they're like, "Oh, there's a friend in the woodpile." I think that's where that comes from. Let me double check. I might have just pulled that out of my ass.
Maybe.
I know it's in a David Allan Coe song. Rest in peace.
R.I.P. I didn't know who that was, but I know he's dead.
You didn't know who David Allan Coe is? He sang the greatest country and western song.
I'm sure I heard songs of his. I just didn't know who he was.
Well, it was all that I could do to keep from crying. Since that stuff. And all those, like, he had this outlaw record that rednecks would play on their trucks really loud when they pulled out of the high school parking lot. And it's just nothing but songs about cum and ninjas and just racism and cum and fucking, and it's just a real outlaw record.
Based. R.I.P. David Allan Coe.
Yeah. That was what's the super racist album that everybody where I grew up used to play out in the country? Is it Johnny Rebel? That guy's he's just racist.
Johnny Rebel is his name?
Is that the one that's like, I am a good old rebel and that is what I am. And for this Yankee nation, I do not give a damn.
No, he's like, it's much, much worse.
I'm glad
than that.
I fought again. I only wish we'd won. We got 400. I don't want any pardon for anything I've done. Yeah. It's. I think it was written clearly after the Civil War, but I don't know. It feels like it was written right after, because whoever's singing this is like super pissed about it.
4 years the Civil War was, yet it's this like huge part of American culture, right? There are people across the South flying their traitor flags and whatnot, going bonkers with this Civil War thing, and I'm like, dude, it was 4 years. Like,
but it was the bloodiest 4 years in the history of the country, though.
Yeah, a lot of deaths.
Yeah, but
sure, but like it was still 4 years.
You're forgetting about the decades that it was flown for a different reason, for a different group of people as their flag, right? Like
it's like a racist.
I don't think of Confederate soldiers as the baddies. You know, like in their minds, do you think they were like, oh yeah, I got to make sure that rich man down the street still gets to keep his slaves? I don't think they were thinking like that.
It was Dixiecrat propaganda at its finest, keeping those guys fighting.
But there were different group of people like who were evil, who for a couple 3 or 4, 5 or 6 decades flew that flag and lynched people and murdered people. There's been I remember, maybe it was a short I watched, but it was some like deathbed confession of a lady who was like, yeah, I accused a black boy of touching me, and they lynched him and cut his dick off and burned his family's home down.
Where they're trying to go after Emmett Till's accuser, right? Because she's still alive.
I don't know.
Do you know who Emmett Till is?
No.
Yes, I know who
Emmett is this name? It's a guy.
Emmett Till is a 14-year-old kid who was walking down in the South somewhere, and he whistled as a white lady was passing by, and so she said, "Oh, he tried to do stuff to me." And so they, the local townsmen got together and they got this little boy and did horrible things to his body.
We can't show a picture of Emmett Till.
No, you don't want to do that. But it was a horrific death. Until this day, like, she's still alive. And the guys who killed him got away with it.
I like that scene when his mother says she wants an open casket, and they're like, he is in no state for an open casket. And she's like,
and that was the point.
She's like, he's in the perfect state for an open casket.
Did you watch the movie? Of
course.
Oh, I couldn't bring myself to watch it yet.
Kyle's seen every movie.
It's on my list.
I try.
Certain things is too hard to watch. Oh, you saw the picture, right?
Yeah, well, he's in the casket, and it's not a great picture. He's on
the picture before the casket. That's even worse.
I didn't see that, but he's Mutilated.
He was destroyed. He was destroyed in every.
Yeah, that wasn't an isolated event. That was a regular thing that would happen.
That was a regular thing all the time.
Just on hearsay, you would be mutilated, murdered by a mob of people, and they would burn your family's house down. They might kill your family too. Anything that they wanted was going to happen. There was mob justice, and those people were flying that flag then. So that I've learned later in life is why some people are not so fond of that flag. Because when I grew up, man, that meant like
the General Lee.
No. That meant blue collar. That meant blue collar. That meant like hardworking. That meant like our like country culture. That meant like sausage, biscuits, and gravy, and like fucking hay bales.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't mean like ropes and lynching and like hatred, to me anyway, or the people that I knew. There's always outliers, and there's always those people on the edge who like blend into your group and try and say they're one of you and make a bad name for you. I mean, look at Al Qaeda. What a
right? A few bad apples.
A couple bad apples jump in there and make them look bad.
Yeah, but you know what?
True.
And to speak from the other side of the spectrum, I guess you could say, like as a kid growing up in the 70s, one of my favorite shows was Dukes of Hazzard. Love that show. Like Will and Duke were my heroes, all right? And I had the toys, I had the Tonka trucks and everything.
Same.
I have a recent picture of me sitting on a General Lee mock-up. Like I love that. And but you know, when I was educated and what I was behind and stuff like that, and it's a whole different thing. And it's like and I like to compare it to the swastika, because the swastika wasn't a bad German thing for hundreds of years before Adolf adopted it.
It's a Hindu thing, I believe.
It was a Buddhist thing.
Thank you.
It could have been a Hindu.
They're all the same.
It was a Buddhist, yeah. Asian. So it was. You know, he
couldn't pick them apart in a lineup.
Yeah,
I can tell by the hats.
He changed the meaning of what that symbol represented, right? So the same thing happened with the Confederate flag. The meaning was changed because of the history behind it. So
that was our state flag when I grew up.
The swastika.
A lot of state flags. And
it was like the state
it was
flag.
my family crest.
I think there was like I'm trying to imagine what it used to be, but I think it was like a crest with like, I don't know, some olive branches and pillars or something. Mm-hmm. And then just the fucking Confederate flag. Like it was, and I think that was our state flag. And it got changed maybe in the 93, 94, 95, like sometime in that era when, I don't know, all of Atlanta was becoming a little bit more blue. And now it's just a fucking purple state. Although I think we go red this
But you know what? It could have been easily solved if you guys stopped bad guys from using the flag. So if people in the South stopped, if you saw like the Klan marching or white supremacists or all that stuff, if you guys told them don't use that flag, it wouldn't have been an issue. But then it became the face of that hate. You know what I mean? If you protected it,
it's easy to blame. It's easy to blame like the guy who's got a bumper sticker, but I think there was like a big financial effort by a lot of rich racists to get all those monuments thrown up. You know, it's not like all those Civil War monuments were put up, you know, at the same time as the civil rights movement was going on. It was their counter, you know, like it was like, oh, you're gonna like invade our schools. Let me just remind you how things was before, and how things might just be again. You know, they would throw fucking like Nathan Bedford Forrest up there, put him on his horse, and make him look bronze and fancy, right?
Not in my sundown town. It's not going to happen.
So like, it's a whole systemic thing. But
it is. And
with the swastika one, have you
symbols mean a lot?
But can we all admit it's a pretty cool looking flag?
Yeah,
it's too similar to the British one.
It's cooler than the American flag if we're just going on visuals. Like if we could,
the stars and the
it is better.
Although I like that ours has like information encoded in it, right? I like that you can do that.
So does the American flag. It's got the stars and the stripes. No one knows what they mean.
When Kyle says our flag, he means the American flag, you traitor.
Listen, honestly, it's cool. And I don't want to get people upset by saying this, but the American flag is a lot cooler than the Canadian flag.
See, the thing.
I disagree. I've said I think the Canadian
Grass is
one has
always
a better,
greener, I guess.
there's a
right?
better balance to the Canadian one. I don't like the lopsidedness of ours. I think that
Well,
every
yours-
few years we should redo the flag.
I
What's the maple leaf?
love Canada, and the maple leaf is cool and stuff. But you know, the weird thing is when you have to do the flag going backwards and the American flag on the right arm, right, and the stars have to be in the front and has to be
It's always
waving and
blowing
stuff. That's kind of
backwards,
weird. Where the Canadian flag is ambidextrous, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But I mean, just looks wise and the red, white, and blue in the stars, it's kind of cool.
You got a trans flag.
Yeah, I definitely like the. I don't like that
It's
it's
at
just
least
red
5.
and white. You know,
Sorry,
we have. No, I was saying I don't like that it's just red and white. The colors, like the fact that we have blue, is better. That's
Blue
the
is
one thing we
solid.
have over them. The blue is very solid, but I would like a balanced flag.
I value a
one of the
flag that
few
works from a
countries who just have
distance.
two colors.
If the flag needs to be visible and work from really far away. When I take a like
Does
sometimes
it?
I see flags they have fucking like
In modern
dragons
times?
on them with
Those are great, man.
like is it a Czech flag? I don't know. There's
The
some ones in
Welsh
Europe.
flag, yeah.
Is it
I
a
mean,
Welsh flag? Is that
I'm
a
just
good
not sure we
example?
need flags anymore. I think they're
The
just,
Union Jack is pretty
fuzzies.
cool.
Yeah, it
Union
is.
Jack looks
It
nice.
is.
Yeah, I do like
A
that.
lot of state flags are too busy, you know, and there's some writing on them like text. Nah,
Little
man.
animals and stuff.
The Canadian
Yeah.
flag. My eyes are 50 years old and I can tell what that thing's all about from a mile away. Like that thing works.
I mean,
But
if
it's
we were
not
on
like-
big wooden ships fighting in the Atlantic, that would matter, you know. But oh, what is that, sir? I can't tell. Oh, it's the stars and stripes, my eyes.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you
Yeah.
I
know.
mean,
But
I do like it in
nowadays-
certain.
I would argue that like just take a state flag and fly it at 150 feet in the air, and it says like there's like a bear and it says Republic of California underneath it. I can't read it, bro, and it's moving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like half of them have bears on it.
Yeah, but it's like, but you go to Europe and then you'll have like German and Italian and France. There are like 3 colors, and you have to know which one's which. You know what I mean? They kind of blend in
Yeah.
together after a while.
Let's see
There's
if we
some
can visualize-
ugly flags in Europe.
Zach, do you have perhaps like some photos of the flags without their names on them that you could present?
Are we gonna do a guessing game?
I wouldn't
Yes.
call it guessing. I think I can picture the German flag like
It's
pretty
guessing.
fucking well. I can picture the Polish flag. I can
Yeah.
Zach, try to find some
MMA.
tricky
Poland
ones.
is easy. Yeah.
Try to
MMA,
find a
MMA is my
graphic.
favorite sport, so like I can
This'll-
expose to a lot of
Okay.
like.
This will be embarrassing.
Oh shit!
Whoa,
These are states.
Those
These
are
are
states.
These are states. We
Are
are
they
European
states?
countries.
Yes,
These are
they
all the
absolutely
No,
are.
except for the top. Isn't the top left England?
No,
The top left.
top left. It's Welsh.
Little known fact. That's
Just to
Top
the right of top
California's right
center, I
there.
think is California. Top row, third from the right. I think that's California.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
I'm
and then to the right
positive-
that's Colorado, and that's Arkansas to the left of that, obviously.
Wait,
know
which one's
Montana.
obviously
I really want to
Arkansas?
do European flags. These are fucking stupid.
yeah. Let's do
Nobody-
European flags. European flags. It's
Wait,
fun for
I
people
found
from Europe to
Montana.
laugh at our
There's
dumb
South
Americans.
Carolina,
I
Texas.
figured out Montana and Kansas
Hawaii.
so far. Gommel.
Okay, boom.
All right.
That one.
Top left.
Okay,
Let's start in the top left. Top left.
Poland.
top left. I bet that is. Yeah, I think you're right. Is
I
that
think
Poland?
it's Poland.
It's Poland.
No, wait. No, Poland has
Not?
stripes. Poland is white and red in some order, and so this is Wales.
Oh, wait.
No, that's not Wales.
No,
All right,
Romania.
That's not. Yeah, maybe Romania. Maybe Romania.
We don't know. We don't know. All right, so that's definitely Germany in the top right, though.
It's not
Yeah,
fucking
that's
skipping.
Germany.
Wait. Is Germany not?
Hold on.
Third
Hold on.
row,
What's
right
the
side?
second one under Germany that you said?
Oh shit! There's another one that looks exactly
Yeah,
like Germany, but
that-
they just twisted it the other way.
Yeah,
All right, I
Horizontal
quit.
one-
Oh fuck y'all.
Horizontal
We
one
can
is
do
Germany.
this.
Under Germany is Italy. Left of Italy is Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
Under
There's two that are blue, green, and red. but
Ukraine,
just
bottom
in
center.
Reversed.
blue, green, and red. That's a good question.
Take
there's-
Ukraine, Woody.
There's the UK.
No one else got it.
There's the
You
UK.
didn't take the UK right next to it.
Yeah.
How about that? Okay, I know this
That's
one.
all
What's
right. That's
the-
France. All right, right column, third from the bottom. That's France, right?
Okay.
Or
and
is
you
the
got
one above it
Swiss
France?
beside
That's the
you got
challenge.
Swiss beside Ukraine.
I don't fucking know. I quit.
No, you can't quit until.
I didn't realize it would be this hard.
You
No,
got
okay.
Greece
How about
beside
this one,
blue.
Kyle? Do you know the
And
one
there's
with
so
the
more
first aid with the first aid mark at the bottom there? What's
Yeah,
that?
that's Swiss.
I knew you would know.
Oh,
I didn't.
sorry.
And there's
My
so
bad.
many more countries than I thought there were.
I don't think this is a full list.
Oh,
I
got it. Oh, that's cheating.
I was right about Germany.
You know what I
Belgium
think?
was the one.
No,
Kyle
I was
saw.
right about Germany.
These people are bad at being countries. Why haven't you taken over some of your neighbors?
What's the
There's
worst?
too many
flag
of them
on here?
Is
Who has the
Monaco
worst
good or
flag?
bad? I'm torn.
Bosnia and Herzegovina is terrible. Armenia is a dog shit flag. Look at Lithuania. It's like they just took the colors that were left with the yellow, the green, and the red. That's
Netherlands,
awful, guys.
France, and Russia have a lot of overlap, and don't even get started on Slovakia and Slovenia.
Yeah,
they should all have to be one country.
I'm sorry that I brought up flag talk. It was an error.
Vexology talk?
Bulgaria's terrible.
Vexiology talk. Yeah. Now it just seems like any old person on the street doesn't know how many continents there are, or like when World War II was, roughly speaking. You know, was that the 1800s, the 1700s? When was that? What was that about? Who were the bad guys? Like, they just don't know. They don't.
I convinced myself all those man on the street things are curated, because otherwise it would be too hopeless a reality to even face. Like, if he was actually walking up to 15 concurrent people and being like, how many presidents has America had? And they're giving answers like
700,
6. It's like, no, more than 6. How many years has America been around? I don't know, man. 2000, or like just like the most absurd answers. Like,
well, I know 47 presidents because Donald Trump makes a big deal of it. Or
45 presidents, because we got we got a couple double dippers ruining the stats.
Yeah. But Donald Trump is every day I'm blown away by the new developments. To be fair, I called this pre-election when they were running him through the legal ringer in New York. I was like, this is a bad idea. This is a bad idea. First of all, he's going to be innocent, or he's going to get a wrist slap. But no matter what, he is going to be infuriated. This is going to stick with him the way that Obama joke night went that time. That it's just going to stick in his craw. Oh, yeah. And he is about to be, once again, the most powerful man in the world. I said this a year and a half ago. And when he does that, if you really piss him off like this, if you keep running him through this legal ringer, he might just create new courts, new tribunals. He might make a military court and just sit there in judgment himself. He will reach as far into the power jar as he's allowed. And because he has the Supreme Court, that's pretty damn far. And sure enough, all these people are being indicted. John Bolton got indicted today, I think. Comey has been indicted. If Biden hadn't done that blanket pardon, which at the time was a bad look, his family would be right now. That's not fair
to lay at his feet. He had no idea.
If he hadn't done that, though, you can rest assured that the Biden administration, those core people who were pardoned, his family, maybe he himself, would be having legal issues right now with the State Department, because Trump just straight up sent a tweet to Pam Bondi and sicked her on them.
He thought
if she's the one
he
going
accidentally
after,
did it in public.
She is retarded. He is
There's not a human
useless
I dislike
retard.
more than Pam Bondi.
She is so inept.
Not like that bitch.
She is so inept, incapable, underqualified, bad at her job.
I
horrible.
see her as the opposite.
Oh, I see her as a useless idiot. Like she had like a mandate after the Charlie Kirk thing to like go out there and like really put the screws to a lot of the political opponents, and instead she's like, we're going to crack down on hate speech because of the, and it's like, that's how you frame this, you fucking cunt, you idiot. Like that is so brain dead. Yeah, she is the worst by far of his administration. Cash
because
Patel,
you think she's not getting enough people arrested, indicted.
I think she's just
he needs a better henchman.
He needs a more competent person to do this.
Number two.
She's out there like doing horrible framing of these things, making winning issues into potentially losing ones. And then you got Cash Patel out there looking horrified every time he's on camera with those big, like, deer in the headlights eyes.
Yeah.
Being like
Nordic God.
Yeah. And then what the fuck was that gay shit with Cash where Charlie Kirk, like devout Christian, dies and Cash Patel goes up there and he's like, I will see you in Valhalla, brother. And it's like, first of all, you're Indian. Second, like, do you think that's what Charlie Kirk would want you to say? I'll see you in Valhalla, brother. This like gay HBO series line. Oh, yeah, those two are my least favorite.
That straight.
Those two are my least favorite by far. Cash Patel and Pam Bondi.
Very
Did
interesting.
you see Vivek Ramaswamy at that conservative convention speaking? And he's being the crowd. It's like a town hall almost, but it's a big building full of people. And they're handing the mic to these young conservatives. It may have been a young conservative like get together.
Was it a rally? He's going for governor, right? Of
something
Ohio?
like
Does that sound right?
Perhaps.
Hope he loses
that is his the governorship was what was in question. Because these young kids are like Charlie Kirk disciples. So they're just like, this is a Christian nation founded on Christian values. You yourself are an Indian. What are you going to conserve? How could you ever conserve anything in a country that you are foreign?
Sir, do not redeem this question.
He's like, your religion is based. Aren't you a polytheist? And he's like, well, you understand, there's the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. That doesn't make you a polytheist. They're like, no, it doesn't. It's all one religion. You are a Hindu, aren't you? He's like, well, I choose to see myself as an ethical monotheist. And the crowd is like, Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior. We're washed in the blood, you stinky Indian.
Get fucked, Vivek.
Dude, one after
the
other,
Republicans were way too bigoted
roasting
to
him.
accept him.
No, dude, do you know his
One way to
history?
look at it.
Like
maybe I don't.
He made his money through like a big bullshit. What was it? It was a Alzheimer's drug, where there was an Alzheimer's drug that had been studied a lot, and no dice, didn't work great. His mother using her firm, bought the rights to that drug. They ginned up some new studies internally saying that it was very promising. And then they took a huge amount of investors on, and then he cut and ran. And so this Indian guy running for the Ohio Senate or the Ohio governorship is like literally a scammer, seemingly. You read about
their
it.
problem,
like,
literally.
Although that sounds terrible. I don't like people who are grifters and scammers too.
Mm-hmm.
But their issue was his religion and maybe his skin color.
My issue is him scamming people, and also him like having that. Remember last Christmas, he and Elon had that spaz out where they're like, he was like, the problem with Americans is they're like lazy and we need to import more Indians. And it's like, okay, thanks for taking the mask off there for a second, Vivek. We're not going to forget this. Like, no, fuck you. Like, you should not come to America, take advantage of us, screw over Americans, and then make your highest priority hiring a bunch of other Indians and
Sure
H-1B
he's
people.
born in America, right? Isn't he? I mean, he ran for president.
He ran for president. I mean, like, he clicked. Kyle, what? You're muted.
He would have to be if he ran for president. Yeah.
He would. Yeah. But he's benefiting. He's seeing his co-ethnics as like better than Americans based on those tweets he said. And it's like, what the fuck is this, dude? Like, you're like going out there wearing a fucking cowboy getup like a retard with like boots and like that shirt he has on with like the Texas flag on it with the most ill-fitting cowboy hat. And he's like LARPing as an American. And then he's going on to social media and saying Americans are lazy and that, hey, if Americans don't want to be replaced by H-1B laborers, borderline indentured servant slaves to big tech, maybe they should like work harder. They're watching Friends too much is something he said. He's like, they're spending too much time watching Friends, not enough time studying. And it's like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, Friends sucks.
Friends is gay.
Nobody's doing that.
That's like on the laugh track.
That's a lame guy's idea of what people are doing now, Vivek. So yeah, I hope he loses badly. I hope he's excised from the Republican Party and he can't get a job in politics anyway.
I'm leaning more and more toward the Starship Troopers version of managed democracy, I suppose, where you've got civilians and then you've got citizens. Everybody's a civilian, but not everyone is a citizen. Just because you were born here, well, I mean, it's kind of like that movie. What kind of an American are you? You know?
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
I think you should have to. You should see the movie. Meth Damon's a bad motherfucker.
I love Meth Damon.
He's got a whole pile of bodies.
Scene.
They stuff, it's the Civil War movie, and most of the movie is fucking lame. But at one point, this van full of journalists who are trying to cover the Civil War and are traveling across states where the fighting lines are kind of ambiguous and it's kind of sketchy, no real law. It's less than martial law. They stumble upon a mass grave and a couple of U.S. soldiers tending to it, and that Jesse Plinkett guy, whatever his name is Meth Damon, is sort of seeing over it, and he starts asking the journalist, "American, huh? Well, what kind of American are you?" And it's sort of because he's like, "Where are you from?" And then she's like, "Missouri, the show me state." Now that's American. That's American right there. All right.
He's on the money.
And they're all crying. He's like, Florida. And Florida is kind of ambiguous as far as what side they're on. So you thought, oh no. He's like, Florida. That's America. I like that. What about you, Chang? Where are you from? And the guy's just crying. He's Beijing, China, Chinese. Bang! And just kills him in front of everybody. It's what kind of American
killed
are
two
you?
people. Yeah, it was super scary. You didn't know what he was looking for exactly.
Mm-mm.
Like if you said you were from North Dakota, I don't know where he would have gone. The movie was interesting. I went into that movie, Civil War, expecting it to be a reflection of current events. It was not. I tried to paint current events onto it, but the partnership was like, I'm going to foul this up, but it's like Texas and Florida and California against Missouri and New Jersey and Vermont. And I'm like, what? No, that's not how it is.
Natural allies.
Yeah. I fouled that up a little, but like you get the idea that the allies.
You could
weren't the
imagine a
ones
scenario
should
where
have been.
Texas and California might want to band together. What if the federal government wanted to break them each up into smaller states to gerrymander them in that way? Like, you know what? How about there's 4 Texases now? There's North, South, East, and West Texas. Each of them much less powerful. All of those politicians are going to lose power, and we're going to redistrict the West Texas. We're going to make that a blue stronghold. In California, wait, do you see what we're doing? There are 8 Californias now. You could see them being like, no. And
it almost seems like they should break them up to me. And it also, to me, it's the opposite of what you said. It's not that Texas is too powerful. It's that they're underrepresented. The fact that Texas has 2 senators and Wyoming also has 2 senators seems wrong. And I could say that about California too, or New York. You know, how many people are in Texas? Like 40 million?
Yeah, 37, 38 million, something like that.
37, 38 million, 42 senators. And then there's, in Wyoming is what? 600,000? They also have 2 senators. That's ridiculous as a system. And they're underrepresented.
That's why there's 2 chambers, I kind of like that because each state is its own thing. Agreeing to come together and cede some of their power for the greater good. So each of them should have an equal say in one branch of government. But then you have the House of Representatives that's based on population, and everybody gets, more or less. But I do think California and Texas should probably be 4 states each.
No, Texas has that nice iconic shape. California, we're going to bust them all up.
Northern California and Southern California are 2 different lands. That's like comparing
if they
North Carolina
divided
and Florida, and they both have to have the same 2 senators.
It would be devastating for the Democrats if they did this because you'd get way more Republican senator or congressmen or whatever. But like senators, sorry, but like that wouldn't be. We need to have a rule that if we're going to have more, it has to be additive. It has to be more land we didn't already have. We can't add new states out of existing states. We got to add more land because for
Canada,
too long,
Alberta, Saskatchewan. I've got an idea.
We can take all of it other than Quebec, and then maybe Quebec if
they prove themselves worthy.
Yeah, when I learn more about them and see if I like them.
Anyone who can't pass an English literacy test gets sent their ass back to France, though.
As if they're from France.
Their ancestors clearly were. They're still speaking.
I'm fine with it. Yeah, send them back.
I'm going to send those Mexican back to Spain, where they came from.
That's where they're from.
That would be so funny. Some guy named Gutierrez being shipped back to Barcelona.
I don't know if I fit in here.
This is a lot nicer.
I feel like, and like, listen, it's not like there's a civil war like there has been before, but in my lifetime, in the 36 years that I've been here, I can't think of a time when people have been more split.
Yeah.
Like people are
design.
like so divided. I know there's always been a divide, but like, is it just me or is it like just because like I'm older, I look at things differently now? I feel like
no, you're right. No, I've been saying for a while that I think that we're off the prime universe. That like this is too wacky to be one of the more likely outcomes.
And you know what it was, Kyle? I felt this way too, and I've pinpointed when it was. It's going to sound weird.
My guess is 9/11. That's when.
No. That happens in every universe.
Oh,
that happens in every universe, unfortunately.
That's inevitable.
I think Al Gore is the president, and he straightens that whole thing out. Right?
No, because the CIA exists.
I thought it was a built-in part of the American people's like story. Like I was in New York like after 9/11, and like that was kind of like when America was the most America, and that's kind of like I've always loved the USA as a Canadian. I've always loved it. I always wanted to live there and go there. I love everything about America. Like I really think it's fucking awesome. And those were the times when like, you know, like RIP, but like when I went to America after 9/11, there was like a 7-year period where like to an idiot like me, it just seemed like everyone was together and was about it, you know. Now there's this like intense loyalty to their causes or their sides, and I feel like things are really different. But I think, because I agree with you, Kyle, I don't think we're in the prime universe anymore. And my theory is it happens when Iron Man 1 came out.
Oh,
when Iron Man 1 came out and Marvel became like the top thing in arts and entertainment, and the fact that like my dad knows who Ant-Man is, that's like the weirdest, because like I've always been a comic book fan my whole life. So the fact that like comic books and video games are like the number one thing like in the world, I'm like, something's weird here.
See, I disagree, because I think that would be the more likely outcome, because I don't think of comic book or superheroes as a new thing at all. I think they're the old thing in a new way. They're the fucking Greek pantheon made over. These gods who walk among us with flaws. Like it's the oldest story told again.
Then you said it. Ever since Among Us came out, that's when the timeline's been
Iron
fucked.
Man 1 came out in 2008, and that was the biggest thing of 2000. I mean, yeah, there was the global economic collapse.
As far as the togetherness, I think that like it was turbulent through the Obamas years, I think, at times, but I think everyone was kind of together that, but we hate those fuckers that had anything to do with Osama bin Laden and Al Qaeda. Like everybody was definitely together that we need to get them, and we don't really care what it takes.
Yeah,
like there was a lot of solidarity there.
I agree.
Sure.
Yeah, and they're also like back then, like you didn't get a lot of like now everyone has access to all types of information, right, wrong, vague, whatever. Everyone has access to that. So it's like, if you're like, oh, I want to go learn some shit about Osama bin Laden. Who was he? And then you kind of read that and you're like, whoa, now everything's looking a little weird.
Yeah.
Everything.
Well, Osama bin Laden's a bad example, because you can be like, oh, so he was trained by the CIA. In the 80s,
exactly. You can look
and he had close relations with American government officials, like that.
Yeah.
And wait,
then
George
somehow
Bush's father ran the CIA. Oh no.
You're like,
this doesn't make any sense.
You read like 5 websites and you're like, whoa, Osama bin Laden was Jewish. This makes sense now.
The beard.
That's like the weather vane of when you're reading a conspiracy where I'm like, dude, this is fun. I'm liking this. And then it's like, and the true blame. I texted you guys in our group chat today. Did you see Virginia legalized marijuana finally?
Yeah.
And so that's like a nice first step. They were saying the first southern state. Maybe I'm weird. I do not think of Virginia as southern at all, because it's not even further south than Missouri, and I don't think of Missouri as a southern state.
I think of Missouri as a southern state before Virginia.
What's that?
They're a blue state now, which is kind of not southern, but where was the capital of the Confederacy?
I just mean geographically. Like I
Richmond
of them as the South.
Richmond, right?
Then they're relocated to like either Georgia or Alabama,
something like that. Well, but I don't. To me, Southern is about the war, about the Civil War. That's what Southern is to me. So
fair.
They were like not just a participant, like
it's the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah, right. Like it.
Well, that went right through Missouri. I don't.
Virginia is like the capital of the Civil War. They're the leading arm, the tip of the spear on this thing.
Tip of the spear.
It's funny how you look at it, because like literally, I'll look at it and like I live in St. Louis for Alex's benefit, and I'll just like draw a line like with mentally across the country, and if it's north of that, it's like, well, that's not a southern state. What are you I don't live in the South. I'm in St. Louis, and so like I feel like what I consider the South is like Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Texas. I guess I'd throw Arkansas. Yeah, I might even I'll throw Kentucky and Tennessee in there too. But that whole section, and even Tennessee is a stretch because they're barely to the south of us. But like, and then I'll talk to other people and like, oh, Missouri, like a southern state. And it's like, no, not.
I totally look at it about Civil War participation. Like Texas, for example. Oh, yeah, that was kind of before the South. Is New Mexico part of the South? No, that's the New South.
That's the Southeast. That's a different thing. Yeah.
Okay. We have a different definition of East, but I'll take it.
Southwest.
The other way.
As soon as he said it, I was like, but it's their show, so I don't want to say anything. But okay.
Stepping on us for being retarded.
Oh man, retarded's kind of my thing. So you're stepping on my routine. No, but I'm all about, like, when you were like Tennessee is kind of south, like Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia, Alabama, North Carolina. This is like south. Georgia. This is where like the heart of the slave owning southern shit came from.
I don't think North Carolina as the South, and that's south of Missouri. I guess, looking at the map, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas. Those would be the ones I consider the true South. You go to southern Missouri, where they call it that instead of Missouri. That is very southern, but I still barely think of that as the South.
Wow. The list of southern states is not what I expected. I Googled it, right?
Yeah.
These are not going to be on your list. All right. So Alabama, Arkansas, Delaware,
what?
Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, North Carolina, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Virginia, West Virginia, DC.
West Virginia.
West Virginia is totally southern to me.
Maryland is blowing my mind that they're saying Maryland is southern. That is so north.
The Mason-Dixon line runs through New Jersey. I grew up south of the Mason-Dixon line. That's why I discount that bullshit.
See, I think that maybe it was just different the way we were taught here, because because Missouri was such a split state, a ton of people in Missouri didn't even like fully participate in the Civil War, and so like. I guess from the Missouri perspective, like the southern part of the state was more southern, but they didn't even really fight for the South that much. And the northern part was more, they were kind of hanging out. We were taught like they had some other problems in the same era. The Mormons were a huge issue in Missouri in the 1800s. There was the Missouri Mormon War. You can look that up, where a bunch of Missourians were like, these fucking Mormons are marrying 15 people and they're acting weird. We don't like them. And so they chased. That's why they're all in Utah now. The Missourians chased them out, literally warred with them and chased them out. And so that's why there's no Mormons in Missouri anymore. And they're all in fucking Utah.
I think I was wrong about the Mason-Dixon line. I don't know. Locally, we always thought it went straight across. But
it seems to just like a hard right angle.
I've seen several pictures that just have it duck south for some reason.
Did Delaware even have slaves?
I don't know.
I don't know what the hell's going on in Delaware. They're not growing like produce and cotton, and are they? I don't know what happens in Delaware.
Delaware is just chilling, man. They're a state that's just chilling. That's where you go to fake a business and operate it out of California. You know what I mean?
Now Delaware's chief income is those like 3 fucking tolls on I-95 that get you back to back to back.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why is another $2? I've been 4 miles. Like, yeah, welcome to Delaware. There's no state taxes here. We just get tourists.
That's funny.
Not even Delaware tourists, people who wish they were New York on their way.
Most people just going through it, you know what I mean? And they're the contact tourism.
Yeah,
you know.
We were just talking about which states were southern. Kyle,
yes, sir.
Is North Carolina a southern state?
Yes.
Okay, Virginia.
We don't really think of it as such. at this point, but I think they're more Southern leaning for the most part. Like if I had to, they're more Southern than Northern, but they're very. I think of it as mixed. You know, like it's biracial.
West Virginia.
Oh, big time Southern state. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you pick whether a state's Southern or not? Is it geography? For me, it was participation.
It's more about the culture. To me, it's about the current culture. I do see your Civil War point in the Mason-Dixon line, but for me, it's more about how the culture is there and what that's like. And when I think West Virginia, I think mountain folk, coal miners, blue collar, hardworking, not so educated, and all of those things just scream Southern to me.
By your definition, large parts of Pennsylvania are Southern.
Yes, I mean, yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Pennsylvania for like most of their land area.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. That's absolutely true. I've been up there. Yeah, it is. It's like that big time. I didn't go to Scranton, but I was close enough to Scranton that there were road signs that said Scranton X amount of miles. So I was probably within 50 miles of it. And that's where they paid me to like fly up there and appear at that gun show that time. And I'm going to tell you, them was some good old boys. All right. It was one of those gun shows that had way too many Nazi artifacts for sale for my liking. Look, I'm all for historical artifacts, but I noticed there wasn't a whole lot of like British stuff laying around on shelves, and there wasn't a whole lot of like Russian or Japanese. There wasn't a Nambu.
Were they at least selling like, this is a German gun from World War II? It was like, this is my flag collection. Because that would make a difference for sure.
Yeah. Seemed a little gung-ho on the Nazi stuff. Yeah, I like your description of it too. The historical artifacts, I've covered this so many times, but I especially like ones that have seen combat. Just the idea that some guy in fear clutched this in mud while taking cover is fascinating to me. Like, this has been there. And it's not just war. Like I went to a spot where Native American Indians washed their clothes, and it still looked like you could, like you could see why they chose this part of the riverbank and stuff. And I was like, I bet there was quite the social scene right here. Women squatting next to the moving water, talking to each other, hanging out with like
the gossiping and the social stuff that would happen. Like,
because for those listening along that maybe you're not piecing this together, I'm talking about flying Taylor into South Carolina. Woody drives down from North Carolina. I drive up from Georgia with my special friend in tow. We hook up Wings of Redemption, do our hot sauce photography, do our gun trading, maybe go out and shoot or something, and then retire back to. I think a conference room at like a Holiday Inn is the way to go, because you got your own private room. There's bathrooms, there's facilities, and there's hookups for internet, power, and everything there, and you got privacy, and it's like $100 or something. I think that's the way to go. But something like that, because I feel like hooking up at Wings houses, you're just asking for a disaster. You got like people stumbling in there, and dogs barking, and roosters crowing, and
yeah. There's going to be one issue that happens at Wings houses is there always someone in the Wings universe that doesn't, what I think of as like respect the show. Like I might have Jackie Hope just now brought me a coffee, right? Sheepishly off camera, hands it, slides out backwards. That's one thing. He'll have.
That's how people are at my house. Like you can't tell because they're respectful. But 4 different times people have walked up and down like loud stairs 20 feet over that way. But they. They know what we're doing. They creep around. At Wings House, they just kind of like stumble in, picking lint out of their belly button.
Yeah, talking to each other. Yeah, like open invite. Anyone ever wants to hop on PKA, you just grab a seat in the corner and start screaming across the room to the mic. Yeah.
Come on in here, Crook. You got a new line of work boots you promoting, right? Come on in here. Get your plug in.
And sometimes it's funny. Like for one reason, like a photography session for a Civil War uniform just started happening behind him.
Yeah. Oh no, it was. So if I remember correctly, he was wearing his like Marine Corps uniform or Army uniform, or someone else's was wearing someone else's. It was bizarre.
I hope I'm right because I thought it was a Civil War uniform.
I didn't think it was. I thought it was like a modern uniform that someone was wearing that wasn't even their uniform. I thought that it was his brother's uniform because I know he served, but someone else was putting it on for some odd reason.
That seems more likely. But I don't. I hope it was a Civil War reenactment because that's funnier.
That is funnier. Yeah. Yeah. They're out there. We're gonna get them this time. I like to imagine that when they do when the Sons of Confederate Veterans put on their like Civil War reenactments, they always make sure the South wins the battles, even if it's not historically accurate.
Do they really? They set it up so that's just like my NHL 15 season right now, where like I'm just living in the fantasy of like, yeah, Blues 25-0. This is the year when it's like. Then I go back and check, and it's like, oh, like no.
How are the Flyers doing right now?
Flyers are playing right now. I have the NHL score up.
Looks like he's great at do it. Like I love. He's got the sad Hulk music that Joe Lozon used to play. Like Wings would start lamenting his life, like whatever is going wrong with his life, and Lozon like on his phone just starts playing dun 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 dun. Just the sad Hulk music, and just grinning, looking at Wings with zero pity in his eyes.
Coming from Lozon, it like. He's not living in a glass house, right? The guy created his own reality, and it's like, fuck.
Yeah, it's great. So he's got that one, and he's just got like all of the like Wings like greatest hits, and like the ancillary characters too. So like Levi the Gunman, that's a Wings Redemption ancillary. He's just this guy that would show up. I think he was like, Wings' aunt's boyfriend or something like that. I don't know. But he just showed up and he had a gun, like in a holster. And he's like, and Wings is like, this is Levi. He's the gun man. And he goes, I'm the gun man. Boom.
Remember, like,
Levi was a short-lived character.
We just be doing the show. And for some reason, there's a skinny young boy in a Confederate uniform.
Oh my God, that was outrageous.
Kyle's like, wait. Stop the presses here for a second. Why is there a young Confederate soldier in your background?
Let's go into the reenactment.
He might have been.
They were. Dude, when I went to Wings' house that time, the second time, not when you and I went, to take like promo photos for Hot Wings of Redemption with him with a flamethrower and everything, there was a Confederate reenactment going on 20 minutes from his house. They were in a field in uniforms marching and shit. And I'm just like, I'm from the South, but God damn, where am I?
They do that shit all over the place, don't they?
Up in like Gettysburg, obviously they do a big one there, in Pennsylvania. But down here in the South, there's this group called the Sons of Confederate Veterans. Mm-hmm. And I remember they tried to recruit my dad once. He's like, don't worry, everybody's got an ancestor that fought, and Dad's just like, so what's the benefits of this? We just like to have a good time. And I'm just like looking at my dad like, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
What are you talking about? Seems like they're getting drunk and dressing up, playing in the woods. My only stipulation is that I want to be on the Union so I get to win every year.
Yeah, I see, I'm from the North, and I see the Confederates as pretty much the Nazis in this story, right? They were fighting to maintain slavery and put down another race.
I get to pick whatever side I want. I'm
I prefer my version of reality.
Okay.
Which is a made-up one that I've come up with that allows me to feel pride that my ancestors fought in the Great War of Northern Aggression.
You should be able to LARP any war you want with any outfits as long as you're
Those guys might as well be fucking like reenacting Star Trek or Star Wars battles.
So have fun with it. Yeah, I'm sorry. Have fun with this.
No, I agree with Woody 100%. I had that conversation with my dad like literally a few months ago. We were watching some I think it was some people. We were watching like YouTube clips, and this guy had like a Nazi fucking face mask on, and I was like, "We already fought the war about that, but like that one's all wrapped up." And he's like, "What the fuck are these people doing? A Nazi? Like what is this about? Like my grandfather fought the fucking Nazis. Like this is."
You know what I want? I want to come up with a cool symbol. Like they ruined the swastika, unfortunately. It's a cool angular symbol. It looks neat. We need to come up with another cool angular symbol and maintain it totally apolitical.
It looks dope on your mask, and people are like, "Holy shit, what's that mean?" You're like, "It just looks tight."